Welcome back to the channel everyone, and thank you for joining me. This is the 12th video in my Origin series, which explores family history research and several of the haplogroups that exist in my ancestry, including my paternal and maternal genetic groups. The series includes a few how-to videos: how to begin researching your family history, how to get past those early parish records, break down walls, and how to publish your family story. These are all videos planned over the coming weeks. So if any of the subjects interest you, then please keep watch for those upcoming videos. This series of films go live every Monday at 12 noon, British Standard Time. In today's video, we are going to take a look at gateway ancestors. Gateway ancestor is a term used in genealogy. It means that when researching your family tree, you discover that one of your ancestors is descended from royalty, the aristocracy, or landed gentry. Fortunately, this part of your family tree, the ancestors associated with this gateway ancestor, would have previously been investigated and their lineage well documented in both ancient pedigrees and in the history books. This not only saves you tremendous time and expense, but will lead you into a world of interconnected royal families and land-owning aristocracy, quite something to include in your family tree. But don't think it will not happen to you. Don't think that you will not discover a gateway ancestor, as it's very likely you will. You just need to give yourself time. Be patient, and after years of research, you may one day discover that all-important elusive ancestor. I've been researching for 25 years, and it took 15 years of research to discover my first gateway ancestor. In regard to most family history, it is estimated that it takes 300 years to fall out of wealth, and it takes 300 years to climb back into it. So a king of England that lived 300 years ago could easily have a descendant that drives a taxi today. Many well-off families fell on hard times or had many sons who did not inherit any title or wealth. There may even be a below-stairs liaison with the chambermaid, resulting in an illegitimate child. Once you have located what is known as a gateway ancestor, one who links your family to a known noble ancestry, the door opens a world of recorded and published pedigrees that can lead right back to royalty. He may be a vicar or a tradesman perhaps. He will probably stand out against the background of more humble contemporaries. Any mention of esquire, gentleman, reverend, or even yeoman should be pounced upon and fully investigated. Certain surnames should also be looked at closely, such as Grey, Howard, Beauchamp. There are many more that belong to long, prestigious lineages. If you have a surname in your tree and it sounds old and important, then do lots of homework and research. Search widely and stay vigilant for the right signs, and you will give yourself the best chance to find a royal ancestor. Though some researchers who claim royal ancestry are subject to sneering comments or attitudes, this is not a problem, as they tend to be criticised by people who have not carried out any extensive research in primary sources. But as long as the researcher can direct them to proof, this research can be defended. It is, after all, so widespread that no one can claim that it is special or they are special, though this might undermine the concept of inherited privilege. Perhaps the sneerers should be directed to page 501 of Burke's Dormant and Extinct Peerages. Under the article of Stafford, Barons Stafford, Earls of Stafford, Dukes of Buckingham, Barons Stafford. Under the entry for Henry Stafford and his wife Ursula Pole is an entry for their granddaughter Jane Stafford, sister of the impoverished last Baron Stafford of the family. It stated that Jane, who married a joiner and had a son, a cobbler, living at Newport in Shropshire in 1637. Thus, the great-great-grandson of Margaret Plantagenet, daughter and heiress of George, Duke of Clarence, sunk to the grade of a mender of old shoes. The facts are repeated in the complete peerage entry for Stafford. It is also worth remembering that William Etty, the artist, 1787 to 1849, was a son of a baker and a gingerbread maker in York, was the uncle of two women who married a hairdresser and a house painter. Yet, through his mother, Esther Calvary, he was a descendant of Anne, sister of the English king, Richard III, and Edward IV. There are so many reasons why an ancestor might have fallen from a class of the privileged. War, illegitimacy, falling out of favour, loss of money and land, and even simple time. Not every child born to a family can inherit land and title. The youngest usually has to do it alone. The following list shows exactly what you can achieve from years of research. This list is a full guide to my Gateway ancestors. Through my Gateway ancestors, I descend from King Edward III of England, who was born in 1312 and died in 1377. I descend from him no less than 92 times. King James IV of Scotland, born in 1472 and died in 1513, I descend from him no less than 15 times. And I'm a single descendant of King James V of Scotland, King Henry VII, and King Edward IV of England. A DNA study into some of my family branches shows matches to the great-grandchildren of King James V of Scotland, and DNA connections to the Grey and Howard family. The following list I'm going to showcase is a work in progress. These are my paternal Gateway ancestors. John Grey of Tawney and Bradford, born in 1588 and died in 1647. He's a descendant of King Edward III, 8 times. Joan Boreham, born in 1511. She's a descendant of King Henry II. John Cheek of Clifford's Inn, born in 1575 and died in 1639. He's a descendant of King Henry I. Peter Montague of Warfield, born in 1573 and died in 1639. He's a descendant of King Edward I. John May, gentleman of Charterhouse, born in 1540 and died in 1590. He's a descendant of King Edward I. The following is a list of my maternal Gateway ancestors via my maternal grandfather. They include Sir Edward Howard, High Lord Admiral. He was born in 1476 and died in 1513. He's a descendant of King Edward I twice. John Skinner of Reigate, born in 1465 and died in 1516. He's a descendant of King Henry I twice. Jane Gainsford, born in 1474 and died in 1505, a descendant of King Henry III. James Bareau of Belvoir, born in 1540 and a descendant of King John. William Claxton of London, born in 1582 and a descendant of King Henry III. William Bray of Westminster, born in 1554 and a descendant of King Henry II. Richard Mitchell of Somerset, born in 1524 and died in 1563, and descendant of King Henry II. Brian Beeston of Leeds, born in 1530 and died in 1592, and a descendant of Henry II. Elizabeth FitzAlan, born in 1366 and died in 1425. She's a descendant of King Edward I. Eleanor Luttrell, born in 1495 and died in 1531, a descendant of King Edward I twice. Francis Dennis, born in 1565 and died in 1625, a descendant of King Edward III. Sir Robert Ogle, 1st Baron Ogle, born in 1406 and died in 1469, and a descendant of King Edward I. Eleanor Forster, born in 1520, and she's a descendant of King Edward III 3 times. George Seton, 6th Lord Seton, born in 1508 and died in 1549, a descendant of King Edward III and King James I of Scotland. The following are my maternal gateway ancestors via my maternal grandmother. Thomas Erdswick, born in 1368 and a descendant of King Henry I. Ralph Bostock of Monton, born in 1355, a descendant of King Edward I. Sir John Bruge, born in 1368 and died in 1436, and a descendant of King John. Sir Giles de Beauchamp, born in 1290 and died in 1361, and a descendant of King Henry I twice. Sir Henry Owen of Midhurst, born in 1480 and died in 1542, a descendant of King Charles VI of France, a descendant of King Federico II of Sicily, a descendant of King Jaime I el Conquistador of Aragon, Valencia and Mallorca, and a descendant of King Edward I. Dorothy West, born in 1483 and died in 1542, a descendant of King Edward I. Eustace Benefield, born in 1544, a descendant of King Edward I. John Draper of London and Melton Mowbray, born in 1490 and died in 1569, a descendant of King John 3 times. Robert Bruce of Airth, born in 1505 and died in 1548, a descendant of King Edward the Bruce of Ireland, and a descendant of King John. James Gordon of Kirkcaldy, born in 1724 and died in 1773. He's a descendant of King James IV of Scotland 5 times. He's also a descendant of King Edward III 21 times. Lady Mary Forbes, born in 1725 and died in 1793. Incredibly, she's a descendant of King Edward III 57 times. She's also a descendant of King James IV of Scotland 10 times, and a descendant of King James V of Scotland, a descendant of King Henry VII, a descendant of King Edward IV, and a descendant of King Charles VI of France. So this list shows you what you can actually achieve after lots of hard work and many years of research. The likelihood is you won't just find one gateway ancestor, you're going to find more than one. You're going to find lots of them. Okay everyone, I hope you found this video interesting, and I wish you the best of luck discovering all of your gateway ancestors. Next week will be the 13th video in this series, and to follow on from this video, we will be taking a look at heraldic studies. I will be providing links and information to help you break past those parish records and help you gather information that will take your ancestry into the medieval period. Along the way, you may even discover the gateway ancestor of your own. Until next time, a big thank you for joining me. Speak soon, and bye for now. Bye everybody. Bye.